Shabbat Shalom. I want to welcome everyone to the Sabbath Day conference call. This is Barbara serving as your host today, and today we have a special guest. Brother Gabriel is here. Brother Gabriel, we welcome you today.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and welcome. I am Gabriel, and I will be your host as we journey through this fascinating Bible study about the Sabbath. Stay with me as we uncover the truth of the biblical Sabbath versus the Saturday Sabbath. So the title of this study is Breaking the Commandments, the Hidden Conflict in Saturday Worship. Is Saturday Sabbath compromise or submission to the law? It's a very challenging question, but today we have the opportunity to bring light and so much biblical information and details to make this subject clear and once and for all. So we read in Exodus chapter 20 verse 1, actually verse 2, and Elohim spoke all these words, saying, I am Yahweh Eloheka, which have brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, out of the house of bondage. The introduction in Exodus, where Elohim declared, is not merely rhetorical. It carries profound theological and relational significance. Here is why. 1. Reminds them of his divine authority, and reminds them also that he is the creator and the deliverer. 2. The commands are not arbitrary, but come from one who has power over their lives and history. 3. Call to trust him and no other. I took you out from slavery, is no other. You are invited to have a relationship with me. 4. He is proof of love and loyalty. I took you out of your enslavement. 5. The law is about love and submission. 6. They are called to an exclusive relationship. And 7. Gives them a new identity. So do we enter into a state of conflict with the law if we keep Saturday as a Sabbath, and why? What is taking place when we adopt this day as a day of worship? Are we unknowingly taking away Elohim's authority and his masterpiece of rest, replacing it with the Pope's? We will do a comparison between Saturday Sabbath, as commonly understood today, and the biblical Sabbath as described in Scripture. Origin of the Sabbath. The observance of Saturday as the weekly Sabbath became more formalized in Christian tradition with the Roman Civil Week under Emperor Constantine in 321 AD, who mandated Sunday as the day of rest. It was the first Sunday law. While Saturday is commonly associated with the Jewish Sabbath, for many, the tradition shifted due to Roman influence and ecclesiastical decisions. Now, the biblical Sabbath. The Sabbath was established by Elohim on the seventh day of creation. Elohim rested from his work, blessed the day, and made it holy. This Sabbath is linked to the rhythm of creation, not any later calendrical system. So we have two origins. Saturday Sabbath is coming from 321 under Constantine, and the biblical Sabbath is coming from the creation. Now, second point, the biblical commandment. Saturday Sabbath. Many people observe Saturday based on modern calendar as the seventh day of the week, believing it corresponds to the Sabbath described in the Bible. It's just a belief. It's not a fact. However, modern Saturday is part of the Gregorian calendar, which was introduced by Pope Gregory in 1582 to correct errors in the Julian calendar. The biblical Sabbath as a commandment. The biblical Sabbath is defined as the 7th day following 6 days of labor rooted in the creation week. It was set apart by Elohim and was to be observed as a perpetual covenant between Elohim and his people. The timing of this Sabbath is based on celestial markers given in Genesis 1:14, sun, moon, and stars to govern the calendar. So do we see the difference? It's a fundamental difference between these two concepts of rest. Third point, the calendar systems. The modern weekly cycle, including Saturday, is based on Gregorian calendar, which is a solar calendar. This calendar was influenced by various Roman and ecclesiastical factors, with Sunday becoming the predominant day of worship for most Christians after Constantine edict. The biblical Sabbath. The biblical calendar was originally based on lunar and solar cycle, where the heavenly bodies, sun, moon, and stars, were set to mark what? Signs, appointed feasts, days, and years. The new moons and the cycle of the moon played a role in determining the Sabbath and other holy days. The biblical Sabbath is therefore tied to a different system of timekeeping than the Gregorian one. That's a very important aspect. The fourth point, religious influence. The Gregorian calendar and Saturday observance are tied to decisions made by the Roman Catholic Church and earlier Roman civil practices. The day was formalized over time, especially during and after the reign of Constantine, who enforced the observance of Sunday in particular. The biblical Sabbath is based on Elohim covenant with his people. It is first introduced in Genesis and re-established as a central command in Exodus 20. It is a sign of a covenant between Elohim and his people, Israel. The fifth point, purpose and meaning. For many who observe Saturday as the Sabbath, it is a day of rest and worship. However, its observance often follows the structure of modern religious practice rather than the original biblical framework. In some cases, the meaning has been influenced by centuries of tradition rather than the original creation narrative. The biblical Sabbath was instituted as a day of rest to commemorate Elohim rest after creation. It is a sign of holiness and a reminder of the Creator's authority over time and the universe. It also serves as a reminder of Israel's deliverance from Mitzrayim, signifying freedom and reliance on Elohim provision. And the last point, prophetic significance. The modern observance of Saturday does not reflect the prophetic significance of the Sabbath as described in Scripture. Doesn't have anything to do with the biblical Sabbath. Its observance often depends on religious tradition rather than alignment with Elohim established signs in creation. The biblical Sabbath has ongoing prophetic significance, especially about the new earth and Elohim's ultimate plan for restoration. It is an enduring symbol of Elohim covenant. It is prophesied to be observed in the new heavens and new earth. So which Sabbath do you think will be restored? The one coming from the creation or the one instituted by Pope Gregory? Only if we ask ourselves this question, it's impossible to not understand the significance, the implication, and to not see the solution. Which Sabbath do you think will be restored? So we will do an analysis of the first 4 commandments and their implication. A confrontation with tradition. So we read in the first commandment, "You shall have no other gods." So what are the implications of the Saturday Sabbath and the other gods? What do these other gods bring to the table? 1. Separation from the true Creator. Choosing another system leads to distancing from the one who established the true Sabbath. The second point, idolatry. Any substitution of Elohim command, even in practice or tradition, becomes a form of idolatry. Third, loss of divine protection. By turning away from Elohim's ordained day of rest, you risk stepping outside his protection. Fourth, shift of authority. The authority moves from Elohim to human institutions, undermining his rightful role. False security. Trusting in a church or a human system for spiritual guidance results in misplaced faith. You have faith in a different authority, in a different person. Compromised values. The principle and values of the true Creator are replaced with the corrupt values of false gods. Alignment with the corrupt system. Choosing another Sabbath brings alignment with system that contradicts Elohim's original order. And the last one, a false day of worship. Observing a man-made Sabbath leads to worship that is out of synchronization with the Creator's divine timing. Do you see the implication? The implications. It's amazing. Second commandment, you shall not make unto you any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heavens above. You shall not bow down yourself to them, nor serve them. This commandment warns against creating and worshipping false representation, whether they are physical idols or systems that rival Elohim authority. Could the man-made calendar, such as the Gregorian calendar, be considered a likeness of something in the heavens above? When people treat it as a divinely appointed, despite its human origins, particularly from the Pope, it could become a form of idolatry. By accepting a system that dictates the day of rest, like the Sabbath, people may unknowingly bow down to human authority rather than the Creator. Observing the Sabbath on Saturday can be viewed as an act of idolatry because it follows a man-made system instead of divinely established order of time. Whether intentional or not, this act grants worship and authority to a human institution, a role that belongs only to Elohim the Creator. True worship and obedience should align with Elohim's appointed timing, not with the calendar introduced by human authority. In Genesis 1:14, Elohim established the heavenly bodies, the sun, moon, and the stars, to mark signs, seasons, days, and years, forming the basis of his divine calendar. The Sabbath, as part of this system, is anchored in creation, specifically on the seventh day of rest. If a new calendar disregards or alters the natural Elohim-given system tied to the heavens, it might symbolize a human attempt to create a likeness that substitutes for Elohim-established order. Replacing divine timekeeping with the human system can be seen as disrespecting the Creator's authority. Absolutely. While the second commandment explicitly prohibits physical idols, extending these to calendars reveals a deeper spiritual principle. If a calendar replaces Elohim creation-based system, it may violate the commandment by elevating human constructs above divine authority, thus become a form of spiritual idolatry. The commandment asks us to reject the calendar offered by other Elohim. You shall not bow down to them, means not accepting their form of worship or time-keeping. By embracing another calendar, you reject Elohim authority and open yourself to sin against him. Third commandment, you shall not take the name of Yahweh Eloheka in vain. If the Sabbath day being observed, a Saturday in our case, is not in alignment with Elohim true instruction, then attributing divine authority to that day violates the first commandment by misusing Elohim's name and misrepresenting his will. It could lead to confusion, false worship, and a diminishment of Elohim influence, as people might unknowingly follow a human established tradition rather than a divine command. In this context, adopting a false Sabbath, believing to be from Elohim, is considered a form of disrespect and taking Elohim's name in vain, because it misleads others and connects Elohim holy institution to something that does not come from him. Therefore, from a biblical perspective, it's important to ensure that the Sabbath is observed according to him, according to Elohim's intended time, to honor his name, will, and authority fully. The fourth commandment, remember the day of the Shabbat, to keep it holy. 6 days you labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is the Shabbat of Yahweh Eloheka. In it you shall not do any work. You, nor your son, nor your daughter, your servant, your maidservant, nor your cattle, nor your stranger that's within your gates. For in 6 days Yahweh made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore Yahweh blessed the day of Shabbat and hallowed it. If we read the fourth commandment properly and in context, the Saturday Sabbath doesn't fit. The commandment calls for remembering the Sabbath that was established at creation, which is tied to the Creator's calendar. The Gregorian calendar did not exist at that time. The 7th day, to be remembered in its proper context, is embedded in the monthly cycle. This cycle begins with New Moon Day. The Sabbath day belongs to Yahweh, while Saturday belongs to Rome. There's no question about that. The true day of worship is directly connected to the act of creation, not the act of creation of the Gregorian calendar. The Creator rested on his appointed day, and there was no room for the Pope or anything related to him. The true Sabbath day is blessed by the Creator, whereas Saturday is not and will never be. So I wrote an extra note from the 8th commandment, you shall not steal. If Saturday is not the true Sabbath, and the sacred concept of rest has been taken from Elohim established order and applied within a man-made framework like the Gregorian calendar, then this could be considered a form of theft. It would involve taking something divinely ordained and misapplying or misusing to strip it of its true context and meaning, shifting the focus from Elohim authority to papal Rome authority. So yeah, I believe it's a form of theft. Inside the Ark of the Covenant, according to Scripture, are the 10 Commandments given by Yahweh to Moshe on Mount Sinai, including the 4th commandment, which refers to the Sabbath instituted at creation. In Exodus, Yahweh commands the observance of the 7-day Sabbath, reminding his people of his rest after 6 days of creation. The 4th commandment in the Ark of the Covenant is the one established by the Creator, not the one instituted by Pope Gregory. In the Ark of the Covenant is not Saturday. It's an impossibility. Not the one instituted by Pope Gregory XIII, who introduced it in 1582. The Gregorian calendar was a reform of the civil calendar, which did not change the original Sabbath commanded from the Bible. Therefore, inside the ark is the original Sabbath from the creation, not a later interpretation associated with the Gregorian calendar. So what are we doing? Why are we so stubborn when it is so clear that Saturday is the result of the Catholic program of worship? Saturday is not coming from the creation, is not under Elohim guidance, and is not related to the Creator feasts. The Saturday Sabbath is a false narrative. So what Sabbath day is in your Ark of the Covenant? Are you in a covenant with the Almighty Elohim or with papal Rome? Examine carefully whom you truly worship. So which Elohim established the Sabbath? Those who pretend, or me, the Creator of heaven and earth? I brought the concept of rest, and it belongs to me. I establish it under my authority, along with the signs and appointed times, using the luminaries to mark them. These false Elohim dare to change the order that I created, yet I remain the only true Elohim, and they still pretend. From Sinai, 3,400 years have passed, and my commandment is still valid. I am still the Creator, and they still pretend. Whom will you believe? What Sabbath will you accept, mine or theirs? If you worship on Saturday, don't expect me. But if you worship on the 7th day, as I commanded, you will meet me and receive my blessings. My 7th-day Sabbath carries a blessing from me, while Saturday receives an artificial, false human blessing. So that constitutes the end of the presentation. I thank you for your time and for your participation.